Hey there guys, John here again, trying something a little bit different today actually. I figured since Factorio is like, it's not much happens that fast, so, you know, it's kinda, you end up wanting to skip over stuff when you're making a video like this, so I figured I'm gonna try something a little bit different today. I actually recorded the whole video on its own first, and then what I'm gonna do is whenever I edit this, I'm gonna speed the video up to, double speed, and then I'm recording the commentary separately to basically, you know, you get a little bit more action per minute, because not all that much happens that fast at normal speed. So, so far right now, I'm just sort of expanding on, I was expanding on the facilities to automatically make my red science, because that's what we need to do research right now. I ran out of wood, so I'm getting some trees to make telephone poles, chop those all down, make telephone poles. And then what we're going to be doing in a second here is we are going to start expanding and more thoroughly automating the infrastructure to produce the raw materials we need. You can see there I just started making some of these blue inserter grabby arms. Those are fast inserters. They just kind of, you know, insert a little bit faster, gather up some raw materials. At this stage, you're always hurting for raw materials because you're basically crafting everything by hand still at this point. Once you get the base a little more up and running, then you know, you have a lot of the stuff you need is being manufactured automatically. And it was like right here, I'm having gears manufactured, so eventually I'll have it to the point where almost everything is being manufactured that way, and I can just run along one of these conveyor belts and just grab what I need. Here I'm just kind of expanding the conveyor belts and everything, or expanding the gear production, rather, so that I can have it produce more at a time. And then I'm going to pop this over, pop it in there. And I put those two inserters down there on the bottom, because eventually I'm going to have it so that it's basically one facility is producing these gears, and then the other part is going to be several different chains are going to be using the gears. So I'm having those two, I haven't hooked them up yet, but those two blue inserters that are facing down, I have them set up so that basically they'll pull gears off of that belt and feed them to other stuff. Here I'm like, okay, I'm going to start, I'm basically not producing enough of any of this, so I'm going to go ahead and separate off these electric miners and have them feed their own belt of furnaces here, because oh, I just disconnected everything from the electricity. Whoopsie. Here we go. But I'm basically, see, I'm having this one grab coal off of there, and then I'm gonna put some furnaces in here, and essentially have a whole second production line, essentially, of furnaces making iron. I still use burner inserters for the input there, because they will have constant access to coal, whereas these ones won't, so I'm using electric inserters for that. And there we go, now we have a whole second thing making additional iron. Grab some more materials, have to make some more stuff. Still down there I'm crafting a bunch more conveyor belts. Now the original one, the first one I had set up, now it's being starved for resources. It's not getting ore fast enough, iron ore, you can see. So I go down here and I'm basically going to put in some more mining machines, collect even more iron, just expand on this so that eventually you kind of want each part of your factory that feeds into another part to be producing just a little bit more than it needs to. So just for example, let's say you need to produce 100 iron plates per minute. Well, then you want your electric drills and everything to be producing like 110 iron ore per minute. So that way it's always going to build up a little bit. So that way if you need to like change something around or screw around with something, it won't immediately be starved, because there'll be a little bit of backup. What I just did there, I kind of did that little turn there. What I'm doing right here is this way it'll fill up both sides, rather than only filling one side of the belt. So okay, so now we've got that. It's actually it's backing up onto itself with the ore there. Have these feed in here. Boom, boom. Power that up. then I'm like, no, I'm not going to put that there, because if I need to expand those furnaces further down, I don't want to have that get in the way of that. Boom, boom. More feeding into there. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing for my copper production, because I really don't have a whole lot of copper going right now. Go ahead and feed these into here, get more belts feeding in. There we go. And see, right here I'm doing that so that it feeds into both sides. The drills on the lower half feed onto one side of the belt, and the drill on the other half feeds on the other side of the belt. So it what's the term? It fully compacts the belt. It's fully compressed, I think, is what they belt compression is the term they use in the community and everything. Because like if you have it like where it's spaced out and it's like there's one item every few feet, that belt isn't compressed. Whereas if it's fully, you can't fit anything more than it is compressed. So here I'm just making some more of these, and here's where I'm gonna start putting this into use, because I know I'm gonna put these here to produce green science in a minute, and then those will both feed onto the same belt, and so that one belt that's already taking the red science will also take the green science and feed those into the laboratories in a minute there. Also, I don't realize it while I'm recording until a little bit later, but I have nothing... I have no research going right now, which is bad. That's a waste of time. That's inefficient. So there I've got those feeding both onto one thing here, and I'm going to turn that back that way. Oh, and see, I ran out of conveyor belts. In just a second, I'm going to make a machine that makes conveyor belts, so now I won't have to worry about running out anymore, because I can just grab them off the belt after that. Power them up, have those start making conveyors. So see, now this is feeding the gears and iron into the conveyor belt. And I'm like, oh, I need more copper, grab that. If you notice, I didn't just go all the way down. I don't want to starve this production line here, because what can happen is if it completely runs out of copper, then that iron will start running into the next leg, which we don't really want. So now we've got more of this, boom, boom. Put in some amount of inserters, gotta wait for more to be built out of belts. So I'm gonna see now I can just steal them off the belt as they're being made, which is good. And put that like that. So now this will feed the conveyor belts as they're being built. It'll feed them onto one half of this. Grab some more, need copper. Build, build, build. Eat those up. And I need those. So now I'm going to go down here. Now I'm looking like, oh, this still isn't, this is still kind of, this one over here isn't backed up. It's not compressed. See how it's kind of staggered and there's not really much going on? So, okay, I'll put some more iron production in here, get more going. Build some more furnaces in, and then, kind of do the same. And then I realize, oh, do I have... At one point I use a splitter I have in here, but I guess that's not yet. Oh, here, is this it? Let's see. Yeah, see, I have that splitter. Rearrange my tool belt a little bit. But the splitter, you'll see what this does in a second. I kind of reroute these so they're right next to each other. And then what I can do, that splitter, see, it'll automatically take some from one belt. It kind of evens out the belt. Its job is sort of to... It's kind of like an equalizer. They call it a splitter. But it's taking some from the belt that has too much and moving it onto the belt that doesn't have enough. So now I'm doing this. Need to make more of those. Boom, boom. Get more iron. Boom, boom. Make more of those. And I'm basically taking some of this copper and having it run up along here too. So we'll have another supply of copper further down there. And now I'm going to have yet another thing basically grabbing gears for... I'm just kind of screwing around like, which way do I want to go here? And then this, so this will grab gears and take them over here for another production. I believe this is for the inserter arms. And I put it like this, so that once again, this makes sure... Oh, ran out, grab them. This makes sure what I'm doing here, make sure that you only get one thing per side of the belt, so that you don't end up having stuff mixing around. You only want the gears on one side and the belts, or then the iron on the other. I think I realized here in a second I don't actually need iron, I need something else, and I redo that. But also, if you see here, what I'm going to be making needs 3 ingredients, and each belt can only carry 2. So I have to use an additional belt, and these red inserters are long arm inserters, so that they'll actually reach, you can see they actually reach over the belt directly in front of them to the next belt up. Oh yeah, and this is where I'm like, oh crap, I don't need these, I need these. And I'm, again, just kind of taking some of this off of the one line. Yeah, this is where I realized, no, that's not right. And I kind of undo things. Oh yeah, because I have to make circuits, which require... I'm like, oh, I'll make circuits, and I can't make circuits because circuits require copper wire. So now these are going to take copper plates, build it into copper wire, boom, 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 boom. Make more of those. Again, you're always running out of stuff until you've got at least the basics up and running as automation. So now I put these in here. So now this belt is going to feed copper wire over here. And yeah, I just kind of don't need that all the way over there. Copper wire, which will then combine with... yeah, I don't actually need it. So I do it like this. Again, this makes sure that they stay on their own side of the belt, so to speak. So that... There we go. So now I guarantee that the copper will only stay on the bottom side of the belt, or the iron will stay on the bottom side of the belt, the copper will stay on the top. And then these will make my electric circuits, which will be used in just a moment to then make inserters. You can see right here I'm making more inserters because I don't have enough. I never have enough. But once I get these... see right here, this is... There we go. Oh, grab more conveyor belts. Again, now I've got those on automation, so I can just grab them right out of the machine. Fresh out of the oven, so to speak. So now these will come in here. Perfect. And that will start making inserter arms. Now, I'm at this point, I'm at the point where I'm using fast inserters rather than regular inserters. But this will make... I need regular inserters in order to create more fast inserters. So, I can actually use these machines right here that I'm building now are going to make regular electric inserters, and I can, whenever I need them, I can take those off and use them to make fast inserters. So then those are feeding into there, and those are going to create green science. Now, green science takes longer to build per beaker or vial or whatever you want to call it. It takes longer per unit to make than red science, so I'm going to need significantly more machines working on that. And again, this will just feed them into the same belt here. I'm actually going to expand this so that I don't have to screw around with anything. But yeah, so this will end up having green science and red science in the same belt. Power that up. And then I can go up here and I can see that that is indeed feeding into there. And this is where I realized, oh, this whole time I haven't had any science going. So I start researching one of the logistics sciences, and I'm kind of like, this is not really going anywhere. So I checked my electrical usage. You could see it for just a second there. I'm still not using anywhere near as much as I'm producing, so I'm still good on electric. But I'm building more because I just want to have... I mentioned in the previous video that there's a ratio, 1 offshore pump to 20 boilers to 40 steam engines. So I'm kind of building that out to close to that now. Just build some more while I have some time to kill while I'm waiting for this to research. This way I don't have to worry later about, oh, am I going to be running out of electricity? So I'm just kind of building this out. And each one of these steam engines can produce, I think it's 90 or 9, I forget which it is, 90 or 900 kilowatts of electricity per second or whatever. And I'm out of stone, so I can't make any more boilers. And then I also, at some point in here, I realized, wow, this is researching really slow. Oh, this is where I'm like, oh, because there's no... I'm just dumping off some coal, get that out of my inventory. Oh yeah, I need more stone, so I go and fill that up, get more stone, because I can use more stone to make more boilers in order to feed my electrical system. Just, building out as I go, popping these in where they go. And again, you need pipes to build boilers, you need pipes to build... I just kind of capped off the end so it circulates there. Not really super necessary, but I just like to... I don't like to leave the ends open, just sort of a mildly OCD thing for me. And then I'm going to go... And see right there, I'm just kind of counting how many of each I have. And I think I had like 18 at that point, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up here, boom, 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 boom. So now I've got 20 of these boilers, which is that's basically one whole power plant worth, so to speak. And again, I'm just making this a circular thing, so it feeds in from the one end and loops around on the other end to make sure everything's connected. But one offshore pump can feed 20 boilers, which is enough to supply 40 steam engines. So I just made sure I had 20 boilers there. And so now there's actually more steam being produced than these guys can use. I forget what number I came to. I'm like, oh, I trapped myself, and I just pop right through. I forget what number I really came to there, how many steam engines, but it's not the most. And then if I need to make even more electricity, I'll have to make another offshore pump and make a whole other power plant, so to speak. And again, this part I'm just like, okay, I'm clearly not producing enough to keep up, so I'm going to make more furnaces and sort of put those, expand my production here. Just loop those around so that because I'm clearly have enough coal and I have enough ore. It's just there's not enough furnaces to process it all. So go ahead and put these in here, power those up, put some more in, yada yada. And then do the same down here. Put in more of these. I have to keep making burner inserters because I normally don't have them because they're slower and less efficient. And of course, they need their own fuel supply rather than just being electric. So I don't use them whenever I can use electric inserters. But then whenever it's something like this, it actually is better to have the coal because you don't have to waste resources on more and more inserters that you don't really need. And they can fuel themselves off the coal there. And then that's less demand on your electric network. And again, this is like the early, but again, I mentioned earlier, I think in last episode, this is a spaghetti base. Everything is just kind of all over itself and all over everywhere. Eventually, I'm going to build a proper base with like proper structure and everything is pre-planned rather than once you get all the basics and it's like I have everything I need, now I've got to start mass producing. And you kind of, that's when you really expand and kind of you either demolish this or just move elsewhere. And you have like a main bus which feeds other stuff, which feeds those, and everything is being produced in the order it's needed. Right there, I'm just doing that again, so that feeds both sides rather than just building up on one side. And so now we're actually starting to not be starved for resources down here. Oh, this is where I realized, why is it taking so long to research? And I was like, oh, because I don't have a whole lot of labs here. So I'm making some more, popping those in, and of course, labs need belts to produce. So I'm like, I just used up all my belts, and now I can't put any more belts to feed these science packs. So I go and grab those, and it's just taking a while to produce the labs because I have to build. I have to make circuits, and then I have to make copper wire, then I have to make circuits, then I have to make conveyor belts because all of those are needed to make the labs. So then I just went and grabbed some from down there rather than making them, they're already being made down there. Why make them by hand? And then just building all this out, making sure that I have a larger number of labs, researching all my technology and everything. Because I'm clearly, I'm making way more science packs than I'm using. So, make more labs to use them. And then I can research everything faster. So then we go, just pop those in there, and then I just kind of empty out the coal from my inventory there. I just kind of look around. Okay, I grab more conveyor belts, fill up my stuff, kind of building more just to have basic resources on hand. Go down here. I think and let's see. So you can see I'm only using about a quarter of what I'm producing in terms of electricity. So I have room to expand even just with this same electrical power plant. Oh, I just finished my research there, and I'm thinking, okay, what should we research next, guys? And that's actually the end of the episode, so we'll figure out what we're going to research next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!